Hi everyone, let's talk about Sleeping Gods, which I just did a playthrough for, some of, at least. You can see that link in the description if you haven't seen it already and you would like to see it in action. So yeah, it's a great big, epic game of exploration and discovery and story. And I absolutely love this. This is pretty much exactly what I wanted from from storytelling games, from not to drag on other games too much, but from something like Seventh Continent that we maybe didn't end up so satisfied by. This is exactly the kind of experience that we were looking for there. So I have played so far a full campaign of it, so the 20 hours or whatever it took us, and then I have started a campaign in the playthrough that is linked in the description as well. So that is my experience level with it so far. From that, there is so much that I haven't seen of the game. I won't show you the map from our first game, but more than half of the places that we could have gone to, like the pages in the map books that we could have gone to, just completely blank. Didn't even go there, ran out of time, but saw so much in that time in there. You can constantly feel that kind of pressure on you that time is always ticking away as these turns go by. You need to get things done, absolutely, but at the same time you have seen loads and loads in that amount of time, and you're picking up all of these little scraps of information there. That is what I feel is so good about it, that it is this real open world kind of game, that it gives you a little bit of guidance at the start. It gives you those 2 starting quests. Go do those if you like. Here's a kind of starting area, and you can go on these, and these will lead you to other things. Or if you want, it's just as viable to I want to go over here. It looks cool. I want to go off this page now and start going to these places. You will inevitably encounter places that's like want you to have keywords that are a complete mystery to you, but you can write that on your map and start to, okay, then whenever we find this word, make a little note of it here, and that starts to build up and build up as you find more of these quests and keywords and things, which I won't spoil on camera. Nearly showed them all there. As you build up all of these things, you start, you'll remember, oh, didn't we have that thing there? Oh yes, we need to go to this place. Well, also in that place there's this. The quests never kind of explicitly say you need to be in this place. Well, sometimes it'll say maybe like a big port or a city, but generally be like, oh well, there's something over here, over to the east is the place that they want us to go to, and so it's up to you. You can use cues on the map and stuff that some visual things that might give you a clue of where to go there, but usually there's a few places that it might be, and so in going over to there to explore, you'll probably go somewhere else. Maybe you'll just find nothing there, but often, you'll at least find maybe a keyword that maybe you'll want to go back there later, or maybe you'll find another quest that might point you in a different direction, and you can start to pull together all of these things that end up, clumped up, and we can get a load done if we go over to this place, or, as I said, you can just keep going in other directions and building your characters up. So you have this great big array of characters. In the smaller the player count, the more characters you're going to have to keep control of. There is a lot here, a lot of table space is needed for it, but generally it isn't like there's a huge overhead in all of this. I'll say, yeah, it's easier when you've only got a few to look after, but in the games with more players, it costs command tokens and stuff to be able to assist in you will get more command tokens, but also it costs them to assist in challenges and combat and stuff. I really like the way that it works in the solo mode, that it's just all of these characters are just here on the ship. It makes more sense. I'm sure mechanically it's sound that the other side of the shipboard and stuff, you get more command tokens, so it's up to you to do what you will with those. But I do like the kind of freedom that the solo mode gives you in that. So yeah, you have this array of characters that all have such a difference in stuff. They have more health, they have completely different weapons, maybe they do more damage, maybe they're more accurate, maybe they shield from damage a little bit more. All have their place in the combat. They have special abilities on there as well. There are so many things vying for your command tokens, whether it's these abilities on here, whether it is your adventure cards, of which you start off with just these 4. It's like, okay, well, redrawing a fate card could be vital. Or you can spend them by putting ability cards under the characters. A fantastic thing to do because it boosts their chance to assist in these challenges. So the way that I had Raphael here, if he assists in a challenge now, rather than just the one strength he would contribute just at the start of the game, he contributes 3 now just for putting 1 fatigue on him. So it's always a balancing act. Do I really want to go for this particular check? Do I want to risk failing it just so I don't build up this fatigue? You can't keep doing every single one and contributing a few people each time. They will all end up worn out, and if you should be unlucky enough to get into combat at that point, you're going to be really stuck, and hopefully you can just run away from that. But the game is full of mitigating things for it says on, I think, the easy mode instructions, of which there is. If you find it difficult, there's an easy mode that has been kind of FAQ'd in. You can find that on BGG. Lost my train of thought, but yes. So dying or the ship taking loads of damage has been factored in, and so it isn't over when that happens, unless you're playing kind of brutal and you've got like permadeath mode enabled. So yeah, there are all of these things pulling for your attention, ways to use your ability cards, discarding them to help with these challenges that we're just one short of, collectively deciding, I can play these command tokens outside my turn as well to give a character another ability card, to play an ability card not even to one of my characters. There is fantastic collaboration and cooperation between the players. It works fantastically well in that regard as well. I'll say that without spoiling anything specific that happens, as you accrue all of these quests and keywords, sometimes they complete and you put them in the used quest box, but often there will be a keyword that's just a reminder of something that you did that will change the state of maybe just one place that you will go that is bothered about that. So you will accrue loads and loads of keywords and a lot of adventure cards, so the table space and stuff, and kind of just being aware of the stuff that's available to you, it can get a bit overwhelming that there is just all of this stuff to sort through. But that is kind of much later on in the game, and still at the same time as it kind of being maybe taking more time to sort through, and maybe you'll miss some things. It's amazing having all of these options in front of you, and some, not to spoil anything, but some wild abilities that were absolutely fantastic and got used an absolute ton. The battle system is a really lovely puzzle that it's so simple to get started with that it's just like a check, and all of the checks work beautifully as well. It's up to you how much you want to contribute, and then always get to draw a fate card, and it could be between 1 and 6, I believe, on the fate cards. So you've got abilities that let you redraw, that let you add one more skill, and you can do these things after you've drawn the card as well. So committing the people happens before. But yeah, one of my kind of pet peeves about more roll to resolve games is that they want you to commit all of your stuff and then roll some dice or flip a card or whatever, and then if you drew a great one, you wasted all this stuff. You still might waste putting fatigue on people you didn't need to, but all of these putting things on command tokens, discarding cards to do all of this stuff, that can be done after you have realized that you have failed from the fate card. Love that aspect of it. So yeah, the combat works in a similar way, that you've got accuracy and you boost that with a fate card to try and hit the enemies. I love the puzzle. I wish I got to show off a bit more combat, but you don't know where it is. And we'll do more Sleeping Gods, don't worry about that. But just taking the ones, just one of the characters from the tutorial, so still no spoilers, it was from the tutorial. But just to show you the grid system of the combat is beautiful. So accuracy to hit and then the amount of damage, cool. But then this kind of not necessarily Tetrisy puzzle, but it kind of is this adjacency puzzle of where to put the damage. Do you want to take less retaliation damage later on? There will be abilities that you definitely don't want to go off at the end of the round, because it won't be as simple as just finishing the combat in one great big round. And then the splash damage as well, being able to do damage to enemies adjacent to the enemy that you attacked is fantastic, especially for being able to attack an enemy with low armor that it's easy to attack, and spilling that damage onto a really tough enemy, maybe to get rid of some abilities that make them harder to attack or that will make them that will give them a ridiculous amount of retaliation, getting those abilities away so someone else can step in, and being drawn to want to cover up the synergy tokens so that you can give your special abilities to someone else. So it has this lovely, again, collaboration and cooperation between the people that I control. Oh well, if I attack first and do this, I won't do as much damage, but Mac will be able to give her synergy token to, say, the captain, who's got terrible accuracy, and her synergy token boosts accuracy. So we'll give that to you, and that will make your accuracy better, and she can do a load of damage. And then her synergy token is that she doesn't have to do her, she can do her damage diagonally, whoever she gives this to. So, okay, I'll do a load of damage and do it diagonally, that can finish off that person, and now you can do an extra damage. It just chains so nicely, so well. And yeah, I think the whole game, there is always this kind of, there are so many things that you can do. You won't get a chance to do a fraction of them, but it is kind of, there is a cumulative system in there that you could now, armed with this knowledge, go for all of these things and have a kind of optimal route to get some of this stuff quickly. Or you can just keep exploring, and that's what I tried to do in the playthrough. Just go to places that I haven't seen at all yet, and try and eke out these wildly different stories. I think they are. All of the story encounters and the little storylines that go through all of these quests, rather than there is an overarching story, there is a point to us being here. All of that was found in the very starting thing, but the actual meat of the story of the game is all made through this exploration and through the decisions that we make, the quests that we find, the people that we encounter. I think, it makes for a fantastic story. I think it's really nicely written. There are some beautifully strange things in there. It's got a lovely sense of humor to it as well. The artwork, as usual, is lovely. And I'll say that I love that we've missed out on Islebound, but I think from Above and Below and Near and Far and stuff we played more recently, I really love the kind of increasing amount of story that is coming into the Red Raven games, into Ryan Lockhart's games. But I find that as solid as the actual kind of Euro game things are in something like Near and Far, and as much as I enjoy that, and as much as I enjoy the do the thing and now we can look up a story part of it, I kind of find myself torn between, I would kind of like it if I was just playing a Euro game or I was just playing an exploration game. And that is kind of what Sleeping Gods does. It's just, okay, well, this is the exploration game then. There are still lovely mechanisms in it. There's the worker placement of the ship action at the start of every turn. There's randomness in the event cards and deciding whether or not you need to fight those things off. But the main focus of the game is just on that exploration, that open world, and that kind of strange storytelling that will come from the decisions that we make. As I said, it's beautifully cooperative. The stories are really nicely written and evocative and make this world come to life. I really like, I won't say how, but I really like how it encourages repeat play and this kind of cumulative nature of it if you want to keep going back and finding more stuff. Yeah, I absolutely love it. It's surely going to be one of my games of the year, and I can't recommend it enough. But hopefully the playthrough will give you an idea of whether or not you would be interested in the game. This is just what I think, right? If you want to see more playthroughs, there's nearly 500 on this channel at this point, and my camera is blinking to tell me to shut up because I have filled an SD card with Sleeping Gods. But yes, if you would like to see some more, we're going to do some live plays with it on. I'll be back with more games. Thank you very much for watching this, though, and I will see you for the next game. Bye, everyone.